It's such a good vibration.
This is the UK's #1 independent dance music radio station, Centreforce. Jay Cunning, live on Centreforce, powered by Knite Club 4, Saturday the 6th of September at the Scala, with Mickey Finn, The Criminal Minds, Nicky Black Market, amongst many others. It's gonna be massive. Get your tickets from kniteclub.com. That's KNITE club.com.
Yeah! 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 Style. Yeah!
Check 1, 2, how we feeling? First I've got to say a massive shout going out to Mr. Matt Slip Matt. Banging 2 hours as always, mate. Love that 91, 92 vibe at the end. Thank you very much, sir. So for those of you who've been following me, you will know that we have got an absolute colossal return show. Been on holiday last week, or the last couple of weeks, so big up Mr. Nicky Dimensions for standing up. So we have in the studio, as you can see, tucked away in the corner, for those of you watching out on the Centreforce TV on Mixcloud, the one and only Criminal Minds! Brand new album business, and of course we have got the head honcho, Lunacy, representing Kniteforce as always, and it's all about this Saturday as we get ready for Knite Club 4. If you've been to the other 3, you know what we're in for. So just going to kick this week's show off with a little bit of a throwback, just to remind you some of the damage these boys did back in the day. But this whole show is going to be focused on the here and now and where it's heading for the Criminal Minds. We got the brand new album Ruffneck Takedown. Chris, have you got the record? This just landed today. There's something quite sensual about opening that gatefold. So we're going to run through some of the tracks over the coming hour or so to give you a nice little insight as to what is going on. But we're going to let the vision of dread roll for the next couple of minutes. Keep it locked right here on the big bad Centreforce. You know. All the text crew, all the Mixcloud crew, all the WhatsApp crew, we're going to get to you very soon. Sent out to Charlotte Perkin, locked in, locked on. Sending big love to Zach Criminal Minds. Check 2. All right, yeah, we got you. We got you. Can you hear me all right? Can you hear me all right?
Jay.
All right,
I'm
nice.
there.
First part of the show, we are going to be digging deep into Criminal Minds' brand new album.
Wow.
Ruffneck Takedown. But you know what? We're not going to go way back, right? Because I tell you what, there is a 34-year story that we are not going to pack in 2 hours. So we're going to touch on that. What we're going to do is focus on looking forward, because you have produced. I'm going to say this. I'm actually getting goosebumps. Coming down the motorway to play Call in the Hardcore on Saturday. I played the whole album. Couldn't see the track names. Couldn't see anything. It was just blasting through my speakers. Just proper raw madness. But before we get into that album, I want to talk about how like the return of Criminal Minds. Like what's the story there?
The return. We've got to go back a little bit. The return started when me and Spats got together after probably a 10-year break, and we made a connection with the man in the background here, Mr. Lunacy Chris, and it was that guy that suggested, why don't you do some new music?
Simple as that.
I'm not going to swear on air, but I was like,
keep it clean, please. Keep it clean.
Yeah. No, so that's where it started, and we did a couple of singles there and a good album, genre non-specific. It was an amazing journey working with Chris. I mean, there's going to be lots of plaudits, lots of praise. You know, I don't want to sound too obnoxious if we're showing off a little bit with what's been achieved, you know?
Yeah.
Because really, when I've got that energy and that spirit about what we have achieved, is for all the people involved.
Yeah.
And there are a lot.
Yeah.
And it's not the deep history of the 34 years. Right now, there's a lot of people wrapped around us really, really pushing this juggernaut that has got that moniker, the Criminal Minds, that has got that history, that has got that quality.
Yeah.
So we're compelled to carry it on. So, yeah, it started with Chris, and he said, let's do it. And you know, it's a blur from there.
Yeah.
He's ended up with us here. We can dissect it a bit more if you want.
Yeah.
But that's where it started.
Yeah.
After a 10-year break, me and Spaz bumping into each other, actually.
That's
Actually bumping into each other.
Yeah.
No orchestrated phone calls, no nothing, anything.
Fate. That is fate.
Yeah, so, yeah, man.
Do you know what? Because I had some conversations with, in fact, we never spoke on the phone, we never met, but during lockdown, he was messaging me on the show, he was sending me beats, and I was like proper like starstruck. I was like, oh my God, the Criminal Minds are messaging me. I was blown away by that.
That's one of the first things that he mentioned.
Right.
And I'm sorry that I weren't, you know, I'm not big on DJ names.
Yeah.
I'd seen you playing around, but you know, when you look at when you look on the flyers and you go in and you're in the midst of it and you're in the thick of it, you know, if you don't know who the DJs are that you've never met before, you don't know who they are.
Yeah, yeah.
Spats unequivocally said to me, Jay Cunning, I've been on to Jay Cunning. I goes, and he's going,
who's that joker?
I sent him loads of beats and everything, and I'm like, why? And he's saying, because he just knows everything about everything. And I was like, all right. And for that man to say that,
yeah,
come on, if we all know Spats,
yeah,
you know,
R.I.P. brother.
And he did say, and like I said, this could sound, this is not just for the show. You were his favourite DJ. For your knowledge,
yeah,
and for the sets,
yeah,
the background, and the history that I found out about since as well. Yeah, so that was like a big talking point in the beginning when we got back together.
Yeah, right. Yeah, for sure.
This is organic.
Yeah. Which is the best way to do it, right? You try and force something, and you end up getting.
I mean, it's not contrived. I mean, we could have picked you as a plugger. Chris uses you a lot for promoting his label, and you're very well respected. And it could seem like we've jumped on you, but no, it was. No,
not at all. No, listen, I've built up with some phenomenal relationships.
It's an organic thing for us to end up here today.
Yeah, for sure. Well, look, thanks for coming down. The reason you come down, brand new album, Ruffneck Takedown. We have got a load to talk about, including a live show this Saturday, 6th of September at Scala for Knite Club 4. I'm telling you, if you've not been, just seeing them live is going to be one reason alone. So, Zach, can you introduce the first track for me that you want to play from the album?
Yeah, this is it. Again, we're going to sound all kind of like fluffy and nerdy and round and rung about 6 people today. What are we going to play? What are we going to play? You know, we're not large in it.
I want to play all of it.
Every track on there is a killer. It's a killer.
Yeah.
I can say it's not me showing off. It's them people there in the background are writing the tunes. It's a killer. But the one for me, I picked it, is it captures the energy of a rave And when you was hearing Edge One for the first time, when you was hearing DJ Seduction for the first time, when you was hearing Doc Scott for the first time, and you'd never heard that tune, but it's like the energy that you got from it. It's like you didn't need to get used to it.
Yeah.
It just did you.
Yeah. If you became best friends as soon as you heard it.
And Freeway System is a bit in the vein of that.
Nice.
Stick it on, man.
All right, so this is the Criminal Minds Freeway System, the first track we're going to listen to this evening from Ruffneck Takedown, their brand new album that's just landed today and is going to be available for the first time 6th of September, this Saturday at Knite Club 4.
I'm still proving in that set. Guilty, I'm still proving in that set.
Original bad boy. Original bad boy. Original bad boy. Guilty, I'm still proving in that set. Original bad boy.
So that's Criminal Minds Freeway System. And let me tell you, like, this is the bit that really got me about this album. All the way through, just the absolute rawness of the beats.
It's relentless, bro.
Mate, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Right, what you got next up for us? Because there is a whole host of goodies for us to get to.
Wow, yeah.
What are you going to go for?
This next one is, how many of these are we doing?
How many do you want to do? I want to do the whole album. I want to get it out to everyone.
Can't stand it for too long. It's embarrassing. I do like three tunes, and I'm going to bring Chris on because Yeah, you know, I don't want to be, like you say, gooey or too nerdy, but, you know, when you've got a proper label behind you, that's what inspires you to write these tunes to this level.
Yeah.
You know, you're dealing with a man who's not only written some of the best tunes of all time, he deals with every other tune that's been best tunes written of all time, and re-releasing every other tune that's been the best of all time. Okay, and
he's got it.
And that you're scared to send stuff. and then when you've got a tune like Freeway System and that's finished, you think, I can't do a better tune than that, so we'll just do an EP. But anyway, we just went from strength to strength. Brett, Side Stalker, Yes Bruv, MCI, Skizz CMD. This one, Disconnect, is the opener to our live show.
Okay, nice.
And this was written 100%. You know, I'm friends with Liam Howlett.
Yeah.
And there's one, you know, I've written tracks with him and stuff and collaborated and that's another private story. But the one thing that I know he does is he writes with the stage in mind.
Right, yeah.
And bearing in mind, we've not done any shows for a long time.
Yeah, right.
And I've just been DJing on my own, Spats DJing on my own, thanks to Amnesia, Rain Dance, and all them people that put us on.
Yeah.
Centreforce, of course.
Yeah.
Jack Bass, all of them people. But this tune, we now didn't cry when it was finished, but we knew when we eventually performed this, we'd Take Your Head Off, Bro, live. So play that.
All right, so it's Criminal Minds, Disconnect.
True to the blue, the red and the white will soon come through. Stay true to the blue, the red and the white will soon come through. Stay true to the blue, the red and the white will soon come through. Stay true to the blue, the red and the white will soon come through. Stay true to the blue, the red and the white will soon come through.
Let's go. Let's go.
Getting hot as we get the shit flowing. Gotta stay true to the moon. The red and the white will soon come through. Gotta stay true to the moon. The red and the white will soon come through. Gotta stay true to the moon. The red and the white will soon come through. Gotta stay true to the moon. Getting hot as we get the shit flowing. True to the blue, the red and the white will soon come through. Gotta stay true. Yeah. The red and the white will soon come through. Gotta stay true. Yeah.
Disconnect.
Gotta stay true. The red and the white will soon come through. Gotta stay true. Gotta stay true. The red and the white will soon come through.
That's the Criminal Minds Disconnect. That is going to be the lead track for their live shows. Listen, I've got to ask you, like, I cannot wait for Saturday to see what you guys are going to be doing for a live show. Talk to me about how, like, this concept of doing it live came about.
Here we go. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, that track, just go back to Disconnect. The drums were made live. The vocal, MC Iski there. You know, True to the Blue, the red and the white will soon come through.
Yeah.
The way, you know, when I sent him the demo of the whole thing of the show, he come back and did every single lyric on point, like rehearsed. There's no ad-libbing because each track's got its theme. It's the hook.
Yeah.
And those lyrics are back from the hip hop days. But I don't want to detract from the hardcore people. It's rave. You know, we carry the rave spirit. We are the Criminal Minds. But yeah, so that was orchestrated live. You can hear it. You can hear the drums.
Yeah, for sure.
You can kind of visualize it.
Yeah.
Once we did that, that was it. I think that was the third track done. So we've done H-Bomb, another one, and then Baptism.
So like you're saying, sorry, you're going into the studio thinking, right, this is a dancehall track, but we want to play this live.
Yeah, the live. So that's where we've gone from there. If you want the real story, it's a bit of a selfish one for me.
Do it.
Look, the Criminal Minds are two entities. I don't want to bang on, but if in 2004, when me and Spats were doing environmental science and Side to Skin, if you Google the Criminal Minds, you're going to find a hip hop band in Germany that are huge, in Switzerland, in Germany, ginormous, selling bare records, you know, and like massive, and that's where we were, and you know, I don't know, there was no real band politics. They didn't like rave. We weren't too bothered about doing the hip hop shows. We loved the hip hop music, but me and Spats weren't too. It was mad going over to Switzerland with all the hip hop boys and that, you know. It weren't really our thing, even though it is our musical scene. It weren't our thing. So coming to it, you know, when we started writing this album and we did Disconnect, it was like, right, and got to talk about something emotional, haven't we, to get to the point. So when me and Spats were in the middle of the deal with Lunacy, Spats, unfortunately, as you all will know, passed away on New Year's Eve. My brother was gone. We all know that. Won't dwell, right? And it was at the funeral that Ice could come. Everyone was there. There's 300 people there. Lunacy was there. And, you know, there was no other way than the Criminal Minds get round the table and go, what are we going to do?
Yeah, right.
You know, and we've all got new wives, and you know, you got Ice there, and he's like, well, I don't know, and Warren's there going, yeah, I'll do it. You know what I mean? And so secretly, when we was in environmental science, we was big live performers, and we did well in Europe. You know, we were supporting people like Fatboy Slim and Midfield General and everything, and we've become really quite competent performers. I always felt very privileged because I don't think I'm the best singer. I'm not the best performer on stage. Yeah. You know, Spats was still the main songwriter. So I still had everything to give and learn and better myself within this atmosphere. Yeah.
Like so you're not new, this ain't your new road for you to go down.
No, so what we would do, me and Spats would go to hip hop shows. We'd go to the Criminal Minds hip hop shows. And secretly I was like, I've seen Ice-Ski. You know, I seen Aski, you know, step to the door because I'm coming your way. That guy, when he, listen, he's the Eminem of the UK, and I was like, I nearly swore then. I was like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
And Spats was going, no, I've done years of that. I'm not doing any more of it. We've got this new thing to do, and I was like, and secretly, that's what I wanted to do. Yeah. So when he passed away, and I'm not got him, and I'm never going to be able to deliver tracks of that level. Yeah, I can write. I can write good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these tunes, like Brett, you know, Side Talker, we've written them together, and I've got my worth. But without Spats in that moment, it's like a Liam Gallagher thing when he left Oasis. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And Ice-Ski was there, and Warren was there, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to get the hip hop band back together.
Let's go.
Yeah, I said it to Dan in the car. We was DJing at Rain Dance. We was going everywhere, you know, and I was going, but Ice-Ski, they were sending me these hip hop tunes all the time. DJ WizKid, who's in here now, Terry was sending me all archived files, like what's called B-Boy document and stuff, with all these hip hop tunes on. And I got addicted. Yeah. So when we started writing this album, the Ruffneck Takedown album, on Kniteforce Records, that we're previewing now, I just pushed them into recording more vocals for me and the original ones. I mean, this it works, people. Yeah, I was getting Ice Ski to record vocals on WhatsApp while he was at work in his toilet break or whatever, on his tea break, and sending me on WhatsApp.
Great reverb when you do in the toilet.
Bro, straight into the studio, wallop, and that's where that disconnect, that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
And so the show, you want to know about the live show, it's not that much of a long-winded answer. This live show, I don't want to be emotional, is obviously absolutely everything to us.
Yeah.
It's the boys performing together as a hip-hop act.
Yeah.
They always wanted to be in the breakbeat rave things, but Spats won't let them do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, we're not going to go there. And, we love him.
Yeah,
he was very, very strict, on what the direction needed to be. And he was always right.
Yeah.
Bless him.
Yeah.
I'm not going to cry.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Nice.
I think you can put it all together. We got the band together. Justin said yes. Everyone said yes. So we started recording, and honestly, it's been like, and then when you got Lunacy behind you, and this is, I'm going to go on now. It's the label. The label pushing you, go, oh, that's amazing. Right, I want 4 more tracks. What do you mean you want 4 more tracks? It's 3 there, that'll do. No, I want 4 more.
Not for an album, you won't, mate.
And he's going, they're so amazing. I'm going to say this, and I don't want to sound obnoxious, right, Jay? But and I said to Jesus, my man there, I would say it. When you're in a room now and again with this man, or with the likes of Nick Hawkes, or yourself, and I'm not name dropping, and you don't think you're nothing, because you're still...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when they tell you you've got something, that you've got something here, that was it. It was like a dog with a bone. And here it is. But the live show is rehearsed.
Yeah.
Warren's been coming over from the Isle of Wight regularly. We've been paying a fortune for the rehearsal rooms. And to do these tunes, I thought it was going to be easy. I said, yeah, all you got to do is sing the vocals. No, man. No,
a little bit more to...
Ice Ski took control. Justin, you got brother? Justin took control. He's going like, all right, Zach, come on, I'll sort this. And Ice Ski has come back into the group, and he's leading the way, I will say that.
Nice.
To the live thing. And that man, imagine being on stage now, after everything what I've just said in the story, and it's just how, sorry, I know it's personal.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if it's even a bit boring and a bit like introverted, but the Criminal Minds have been massive and are massive. And this show is the best show we will ever do. And it's all there. We're finally there, and it's for the people. Don't want to be cheesy, it's for the people. We make music for enjoyment and for people to have a crack and have a good night. And we deliver. So I'm now in the Criminal Minds, the hip hop band.
There you go.
And that's what it was all about. Sorry, people.
So I tell you what, if you want to catch that, you need to get your tickets for Knite Club 4, which is at Scala this Saturday. Head to kniteclub.com. There are some tickets left, not sure how many. I know that the last few were absolutely ramo, and there's a whole host of DJs, Mickey Finn, June, which is an alias of Ray Keith, Nicky Black Market, Dope Ammo, myself, Madcap. I mean, there is a whole mad host of people for this Saturday. You're in for a real treat. So, Zach, what have you got lined up next for us? What's the next one you want to play?
I've just got one more, then I've got to hand over to our label, man. I've got to, man. He makes much more sense about everything. And his story is a lot more interesting. And
you've heard his music, though, haven't you?
But this. So I think if you're listening and you kind of know, I think you can kind of guess the way that album's going. And Jay's plugged it well. But this tune is different. This tune was like a cross Criminal Minds environmental science tune. I felt compelled that if we were going to do an album of hip-hop, breakbeat, rave, that we did for Spats, we needed to touch on what he did with environmental science. So this is a tune that we did as environmental science that I broke down into bits and I sent it to Sidestalker, and he come back with Top Gun. And we ain't trying to show off, but like the noise and the fuss around this tune is embarrassing, man. But I hope you like it.
Criminal Minds, Top Gun.
There's no way you gotta run. Just I'm the top gun. There's no way you gotta run. Just I'm the top gun. There's no way you gotta run. Just I'm the top gun. Top gun. There's no gun. There's no way you're gonna run. Cause I'm the top gun. There's no way you're gonna run. Cause I'm the top gun. Top gun.
Concerned if you're a hip-hop enemy.
Top Gun, the Ruffneck mix featured from their brand new album Ruffneck Takedown, which is going to be available this Saturday at Knite Club. There'll be the colour version available on the night. There's also going to be a black vinyl version, and the colour version also comes with a free slip mat. God, I run out of breath then. So we're now joined by Mr. Lunacy, head honcho of Kniteforce Records. Christopher, welcome. How you doing?
Hello, nice to see you, Jack.
Yeah, you too, mate. Well, I saw you Saturday at Cool in the Hardcore.
Yeah, that was wicked, wasn't it?
I had a lot of fun. I only played 4 till 5 in the afternoon, and by 4:10, the whole place was absolutely jumping. I was loving it.
Yeah, it was a good night. Sammy's great. Like, he does good parties.
Yeah.
I hope to work. We did a party with him on a boat party.
Yes.
Club and Cool in the Hardcore. Hopefully we'll get to do that again.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
And then see me tonight, and then Saturday again. I mean, Cindy's going to be worried, isn't she?
I know, she is. Zach as well, although he wasn't at Cool in the Hardcore, so. All right. Be at the next one, I'm sure.
So we've got you on. We're going to get you to have a bit of a mix later on, but now it'd be great to have a little chat about, the Criminal Minds, Ruffneck Takedown, the album. Like, how did this kind of come about, the meeting of yourself and Zach?
Do you know, I'm not quite sure at what point Zach would phone me on the regular and chew my ear off about things. Oh, that's right, yeah. So I forget, because a lot of times I meet people through someone else who I met through someone else. With this case, it was the wonderful Dope Ammo, of course, Coco, top bloke. And he said, do you want to do some work with the Criminal Minds? And I was like, duh.
It's like asking if I want some more oxygen.
This happens quite a lot. Like, one time Nookie phoned me and he said, you interested in Pennywise? I was like, duh. No. Yeah, of course I am.
No, I'll pass, thanks, mate.
So he introduced us and we started talking, and the way it works with me is somebody, or this was like a good example, I'll give you a parallel with Nicky Black Market.
Yeah.
He contacted me, said, I want to put out the Wild Geese track. He wanted to repress it. And my thought, just like with Criminal Minds, is they said, we want to put out a new tune. And I was like, all right, but why don't we do a new tune, another new tune, an album, and all your back catalogue? Because if we're going to do it, we might as well do it.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So that's, I have, it gets me into all sorts of trouble, but the way my mind works is if I have something to start with, I start elaborating on it and like, well, we could do this. And what if we did a sleeve like this? Oh, you could do a USB. You could put it in this packaging if we had a remix single. So let's do 2 remix singles. So it all gets a bit out of hand, but so far it's worked well. So yeah, that's how I kind of met Zach and Spats, and we started getting together to do some stuff. And they had new music and stuff, and then we put out the album, we put out the represses, and it was all going really well. And then of course Spats passed away, which is very sad, and a complete shock. No one was expecting it, and without sounding like in any way like bad on Zach, normally when the main producer passes away, the band's done. It's very rare. There's a few like Messiah, they work in tandem and both of them are equal when it comes to the music, and obviously that's the case with Zach, but usually what I was expecting was, well, it's a shame, but there's nothing more you can do. So then Zach said, I'm going to try and carry it on. And I was like, I think you should. I think it's the right thing to do. But again, without sounding bad, I wasn't that confident because normally, like I say, when the main producer's gone, it's really hard to do it. So I waited a little while and just to see what had happened. I didn't want to pressure. Because, it's hard. It's a hard thing to do. I know for myself, like my best music I've made or the most successful is with Jimmy J. I'm fine in the studio on my own, but when Jimmy's with me, we just have this thing.
There's a chemistry there,
There's a chemistry, and it's always easier in the studio when you can turn to someone and go, do you like this? Is this good? Or are we going off the wrong way? No, so anyway. And actually, Jimmy did that a lot with me. He was like, no, Chris, that's weird. Stop it. It doesn't need a kazoo. Anyway.
But if we listen to this same loop for another 6 hours,
it'll be good,
like
I promise. Like slap me on the back of the head. No. Anyway, so there was a little bit of quiet for a while, and Zach spoke to the other people in the Criminal Minds. I was like, it's good. I'm glad you're all getting together. Let's see what happens. And then they sent me H-Bomb.
Wow.
And my brain just fell out of my head. Because, I was expecting Zach was like, I've got a new tune, it's wicked. And I'm like, is it though?
Everyone says
Do you know what I mean? Like, is it though? Because it's really hard. Like, and then that came, and I have to say, if I was going to list my favourite 5 tracks, and I can't think of them all, I was going to list my favourite 5 tracks that are new, but old school and well produced and absolute dance floor killers. The top 2 would be Ace and Champion and H-Bomb by Criminal Minds, because they're both absolutely spot on. Like, they destroy the dance floor. They're not so obnoxious they make you cry, but they are so brilliant they make you cry. And they're just the drums and the composition of it. Honestly, when I got H-Bomb, I was like, Jesus, what's happened here? And what I think, and I'm using my own words, and it might not be the case, but what I think is probably the dynamic between Zach and Spats over the years had lent a bit more towards Spats, and Spats have got cleverer and cleverer at producing. There's nothing wrong with that, but all producers in every music tend to get a bit navel-gazier after a while. And if you listen to the genre non-specific album, it's brilliant, but it's very, very clever and almost at the expense of being good on the dance floor. It's not, it's still wicked, but it's just, for the producers, they absolutely love it. For the people on the dance floor, it might have gone just a bit too far. Do you know what I mean? And Zach has pulled it back and got all that cleverness, but made it so it's dance floor heavy. Of course, he's done it with Sidestalker and everyone else, but I think that's one of the reasons it's worked. So as soon as I got H-Bomb, I was like, oh man,
here we go.
Oh man. And then I was like, but can you do it twice? So they remixed Messiah, of course. And that was just jaw-droppingly good. And so Zach was like, I think we'll do a few more singles. And I was like, I think we should do an album. like if you're going to do that. And it's, it's the same thing with me. I'm like, if you're going to do an album, and he's like, oh, is it a double pack? And I was like, couldn't it be a triple pack? Because it deserves it. Because it deserves it. You see what I mean? Like, when good music comes, there's nothing. That's just catnip to me.
I love the fact that you were like, there's going to be no pressure if it's just Zach Rock, so I'm just gonna take it easy.
I know.
And then literally within 3 sentences, you're squeezing an album out of him.
Pretty much, yeah. But because it was so because he was obviously on a roll. There's times when producers get on a roll. And you see it. They start getting somewhere, and you're like, oh, you found your groove. And then that's golden. You want to keep going with that. And I didn't want to pressure him, but I did want to pressure him.
but also there's a window, and I'm in.
There is. And so far, I mean, there's that, and there's Smooth Criminal, and there's this eventual album, and I'm just like, again, you know, it's difficult for Zach because I know the position he's in. He knows him and the rest of the Criminal Minds have done something spectacular.
Yeah.
But he's also conscious that you can't stand there and go, I've done something spectacular.
Yeah.
Because then everyone looks at you and goes, well, that's a bit of an ego, isn't it? But that's difficult because very few, like it's happened to me a few times. 3 or 4 tracks in my career, I've finished it up in like, oh, that's a good one. But you can't go, hey everyone, look at me, that's a good one, you know? But this is like the album is so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. I want everyone to hear it. And, you know, I don't know what else to say. It's just a fantastic album. And H-Bomb is one of my favourite tracks.
Yeah.
And every time I play it, it goes off.
Yeah.
It goes off. Because it's right in that sweet spot. It's not old school. It's not jungle. It's not drum and bass. It's not cheesy. But it's kind of all of those things where it just gels in a perfect way.
It's the rawness that I love.
It just comes in. It's just like, boom. Like you're not going to be like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to go off.
It sounds like a really polished tune has been made, but someone scrubbed the Brillo pad over
That's
it.
exactly
yes,
it,
that's the one. Yeah. That's what make it sound
tough
good.
as nails, but not like, because it's really tricky to do that. Do a tune that's tough as nails, but not off-putting.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a reason death metal is a niche thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's great. I love it myself, but you can see why a lot of people are like, yeah, that's too far.
Yeah. So,
You know what I mean?
Chris, I was going to ask you if you were to pick one track from the album, which one would you play? And I'm pretty sure we know the answer.
Well, yeah, I mean, it would be H-Bomb, but you're asking me, you know, which flavour ice cream. I like a lot of different flavour ice creams, you know, and sometimes it's chocolate and sometimes it's mint, you know, I like a lot of different things. But if I had to pick one, yes, it would be H-Bomb. But I would say Smooth Criminal, Disconnect, they are probably just, you know, H-Bomb is here, Disconnect's probably about here, Smooth Criminal's about here.
Yeah.
I love Top Gun as well because I was always into Big Beat and that style of work. I just think it's brilliant. But, you know, definitely H-Bomb.
Yeah, nice. All right. So this actually came out as a single before the album, and there's a really nice mix. Is it a Napalm mix, right? That's on the flip. That's a little bit slower, a little bit like, again, it reminds me of that kind of Minefields type Prodigy stuff where it's just still, but it's got. Okay, come around there and tell us a spoiler. Oh, I do like a spoiler.
They're going to kill me for this, but the spoiler is, so the Napalm mix, it brings it back down to the hip-hop beat.
Yeah.
But we're going to do a reprise of that from H-Bomb, spoiling it now, into the reprise, but that leads us into a couple of classic, absolute classic, real hip-hop Criminal Minds. They're big-time hip-hop tunes. Yeah, it's sick, bro. Thank you.
Nice. All right. So, Criminal Minds, H-Bomb.
I'm a dangerous criminal.
to the Hardcore Junglist Show. Myself, Jay Cunning, right here on the Big Bad Centreforce. Special guest in the house, the Criminal Minds. We've also got a Lunacy representing Kniteforce Records, a nightclub that's going on this weekend. Let's get a few shouts in. We've been rubbish with the shouts. Big up to the Bubbler, yes mate. Big up to Happy Mate, out to all the Wonky Wednesday crew. Bigging up Zach and Chris, and that's coming from Felty. Yes, Felty, hope you're doing well, sir. Also sent out to the Ricky D saying, loving the album, bro, mate. Big up yourself, Ricky. Thank you very much. Out to the Maccas in Belfast, mate. Good to have you locked down. Out to the Millwall Dow boy. All right, so we've gone for a few tracks of the album, and I tell you what, there's a whole host more. If you want to get to the full onslaught of it, you've got to head to nightclub.com. Get your tickets for this weekend. Scala, 6th of September.
Yes.
Just go and look at the website now. It's going to blow your mind of who is going to be playing there this weekend. So we're going to roll in one more track from the album, and then we are going to get Lunacy behind the decks for half an hour, getting us a little flavour of what to expect from Nightclub this weekend, and then I shall take us out for the last half an hour. So with that, it is going to be the Criminal Minds, Smooth Criminal.
Yeah, I'm going to say a bit about this.
Go for it. Do it.
I've got to.
Do it, because you have to, because I didn't even say who did the remix.
So, Lunacy's just said a lot of really nice things there, but kind of, you get his knowledge is insurmountable, unbelievable. Like he said, he's going to get good music, it's like catnip to him. But I think he underestimates himself sometimes as a musician as well, a little bit, even though we all know he is a legend. And I think he secretly knows, but he's never going to he's like, no. But he did I did ask him to do a remix for us, he never offered. Bear with me, 5 singles, 2 albums, and he never offered, he didn't ask. And
let me just say.
Go on.
I got to be careful with that, because if I asked to remix all the things that I wanted to remix with all the artists, I would just, But that's the only reason, because there's got to be a point where I go, actually, I better just step back. Otherwise, I'll be remixing everybody all the time.
I didn't think about that. But, kind of, even though we've pushed the breakbeat sound, going over it again, and even though there's lots of rave elements in there, hip-hop elements, and Criminal Minds are essentially a rave band, it's our sound. Well, this remix that Chris has done is is the ultimate rave workout, man. I mean, this is just so amazing. So I wanted to introduce it. I was supposed to be done. Jay kicked me out once. I had to ring him to let me back in. But this is Smooth Criminal, the Lunacy remix. It's on the album. I gotta go. Thank you.
I do what I do best. I take scores. You do what you do best. Try to stop guys like me.
Got to send a big shout going out to all the Mixcloud crew. Big up Charlotte, thanks for the pictures. Bigging up the Bradders. Yes, mate, hope you're doing good, sir.
What if you do got me boxed in? And I gotta put you down. But I will not hesitate. Not for a second. Our problem is take the bank or split right now. 30 seconds flat from now, we are gone on our separate ways. That's it.
Good to send out to Caroline RL. Yes, Caroline, good to see you on Saturday. I hope you're doing well. Bigging up James, out to the Chaz, we see ya. Out to the Renegade Bob Ross. Yes, mate. Send out to Steph, locked in, locked on. Send Criminal Minds, my crew. Out to Steph in Yorkshire. Good to send a big shout going out to Coco, Mr. Dope Ammo. Coming from Benny, yes mate, hope you're good.
What if you do got me boxed in? And I gotta put you down. But I will not hesitate. Not for a second.
Jay Cunning, live on Centreforce, powered by Knite Club 4, Saturday the 6th of September at the Scala, with Mickey Finn, the Criminal Minds, Nicky Black Market, amongst many others. It's gonna be massive. Get your tickets from kniteclub.com. That's KNITE club.com.
Right for it.
How many times have you found yourself at a party, alone in the corner, mixing, while everyone else around you was having a good time?
Let us take the case of the average youth before the era of the gramophone. Alone in a drawing room, he was terribly shy and self-conscious. He was restless and ill at ease and bashful. The gramophone has altered all this. It has taken impatient, yearning but diffident youth by the hand and has led him into the paths of self-confidence, experience and fulfillment. This much at least has the gramophone accomplished for the young man today.
Because we got the street suckers. Can you dig
Surely they drew their plans against us.
to the Centreforce. This is the Hardcore Junglist Show. We got a special guest mix from the head honcho of Kniteforce Records and Knite Club. It's Lunacy! Send out to the Nicky I mentioned. Salute me, big up yourself. Out to the Hogo, out to everyone locked on. Sorry we've been bad on the shouts. I'll get to you.
Hold your breath. Make a wish. Count to 3.
Everything's okay. You don't have to worry.
Oi, oi, where's the noisy crew?
What's next?
This the best you can do? No new style? Every man has his techniques, and they're all different. That's unexpected. A man barely alive. We can rebuild him. We have the technology. We can make him better than he was. Better, stronger, faster, faster,
Put
see them junior wicked.
Excess amount of madness. Life, love, peace. Watch out.
My sets tend to be all over the place because I like everything in old school from 1990 to right now. As though Knite Club does the same thing, we have everything. If you like jungle or old school or... Well, that's it really. If you like jungle or old school, you're probably going to like Knite Club. So I hope you can come and join us this Saturday. Go to Fat Thomas, Skiddle or Die. Get your ticket.
Give me a mother. Yeah.
half an hour you've been listening to Lunacy, head honcho of Kniteforce Records. An absolute cracking set. This is the kind of stuff you can expect to hear this weekend at Knite Club 4. Now let me tell you about the absolute honour of playing all of the nightclubs, and the first three have been absolute magic. I don't think I've ever told you this, Chris, but without you even trying, it is quite possibly the closest I've ever felt, like vibe-wise, since the old days. You'll never get back in the old days, but that's the closest I've ever felt.
I don't know, we intended it to be that way, but it's because I like all of it. And in the old school, you got all of it. And that's what I liked about it. Like, you give me a whole night of drum and bass. I love drum and bass, but I don't want a whole night of drum and bass.
Right.
I don't want a whole night of old school. I don't want a whole night of just classics. I want all of that. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I make sure each room and each DJ, whoever's coming on next, totally different. Because I don't want it to be all like one thing. It should be kind of messy. It should be funny. It should be a bit silly. You know, it should be underground. And it should be friendly.
And needs to have foam fingers.
Yeah, you got to have foam fingers. I know we didn't have those in the old days, but if we did, we would have loved it. We would have loved that.
So that's what you can expect a little bit for the full lineup. Please do go to kniteclub.com and just check out the lineup. It's absolutely phenomenal. So I'm going to take you in for the last half an hour of the show. So you can catch me 11 till 12 in the main room at Knite Club this weekend, 6th of September, Scala, King's Cross, London, for Knite Club 4. And this is the kind of vibe where I'm going to be heading at. basically the vibe I'm kind of thinking about for this Saturday is some absolute classics that were released back in the day. But they're fresh remixes from the last year or two. Supreme in the Sunset Regime in the core on the remix. Gonna send it out to Simeon Choco, big up. Good to have you locked on, Chesterfield boys. Gonna send it out to the Mad D. Locked on Hemel Wheelchair Raver, salute. Bigging up the Mickey Moore. Yes mate, hi Mickey, I hope you're doing good. Gonna send it out to Janet K. Alright. Bigging up the Felty, yes mate, hope you're doing good, sir. Out to the Kelly G, we see ya. Out to the Andy T and Brizzle. And of course out to all my Mixcloud TV crew. There's so many messages, I can't keep up with them all. Love going out to all of you guys.
It's the best time I'll always believe in. 'Cause you make me feel like loving you. It's the best time I'll always believe in. 'Cause you make me feel like loving you.
London massive. London massive.
To the bone, of course, it's Asen. Windows in the Sky. Hyper on Experience on the remix. It does not get much better with two absolute old school superstars.
and distant people and junglers whole time.
Across the rewind, going across the rewind, rewind.
As we roll into the last 10 minutes right here on the Big Bad Centreforce. Myself, Jay Cunning, we've been having a real treat tonight. First up on the show, we had Zach from the Criminal Minds, talking and presenting some of the brand new tracks from the forthcoming Ruffneck Takedown album. Then we had a treat from Mr. Lunacy. 30 minutes mix giving us an insight into Knite Club 4. Don't forget you can still get tickets. Kniteclub.com.
Don't worry.
Hold it down.
Around. Get down, don't mess around.
Salute going out to the one and only Ray Keith in the building. I'm telling you, 1K Wednesdays do not get any better. Next one's going to be the last one from me. And then Ray Keith's going to take you through from midnight for the next two. One from me, Jay Cunning, going to send a massive shout out to Zach Criminal Wines. Big up for coming down, mate. Ruffneck Takedown is going to be available this Saturday at the Knite Club. Knite Club 4 Scala, 6th of September, colour version. And then, of course, you'll be able to get that. If there's any left over, I doubt it, maybe, let's see. And then you can get the, of course, the black version, colour version's got the slip mat. And of course, a massive shout out to Mr. Lunacy. Kniteforce Records coming down for doing a champion little mix for us, mate. Salute, sir. Thank you very much. So don't forget, you can catch same time next week is going to be Nicky Dimensions. But of course, give it lots on Centreforce right now. Ray Keith taking you through for the next two.